What's going on, everyone? Scary Terry Rozier. He is a combo guard that has evolved really nicely into a guy that can play off the ball, right? He started out as, more of a traditional scoring point guard who had the ability to put the ball in the hoop. He has a career average of 14 points per game, and he's a guy that can give you, 5+ assists per game. He, this season, was a 25-5 guy, which is always nice. Those are always great stats, but ever since he went to Charlotte, he's had to play alongside LaMelo Ball, so he's had to evolve into a guy that could play off the ball, and he's been a quality shooter and scorer. Now, this season, he started off like abysmal. He was terrible at the beginning of the season. He was shooting something like 30% from the field for like a quarter of the season and just shooting like 19% from three. He was just really bad. A lot of that had to do with just all the injuries, and he was kind of the only scorer there. Some of it was just the shot selection. Some of it was just a culmination of things. But he really did pick it up and turn it around in the back half of the season, and was a really just quality player for them. He's a guy that this year, he did shoot only 33% from three, shot 32.7% to be specific, on about 8.5 attempts per game. Here's the thing, though. For his career, he's a 37% three-point shooter. He's basically, since year 3, has been a 38% plus three-point shooter. He's had multiple years where he shot 39 to 40% from three. And again, on high attempts. Like, he's not shooting 40% on like 2 or 3 attempts. No, he's shooting 40% on 7 to 8 attempts. So this is a guy that can knock down the three ball, be a 3-level scorer, be a playmaker, guy that can go grab rebounds. Yes, he's a little undersized at 6'1", but he rebounds well for a guy of his size, and is something that the Lakers could really use. He's also a guy that was tied to the Lakers for a majority of the season last season, but now Terry Rozier kind of does make a lot more sense on a multitude of levels. Now, one, the Charlotte Hornets very likely could draft Scoot Henderson, and if they draft Scoot Henderson, they have zero reason to keep Terry Rozier, right? I mean, they already kind of are in that position for Terry Rozier. Two, probably not going to get a ton for Rozier. He's still only 29 years old, so he's still young, but he has like 4 years at like, $100 million total over those 4 years. Well, 3 years now, but he's a guy that is basically getting paid, and he's getting paid quite a bit of money. Granted, by like today's NBA standards and what people are getting, it's not that crazy, that ridiculous. But again, the Charlotte Hornets are a team that is in the rebuild process. They're going to draft probably another cornerstone for the franchise, and they're going to have to figure out what are they going to do with PJ Washington. Are they going to pay him? What are they going to do with Miles Bridges? Are they going to pay him? Like, they just have a lot to work out, and to be able to move off of Terry Rozier's money and basically wipe that contract, I think would be very beneficial for the Charlotte Hornets at this point. And for the Lakers, it didn't make a world of sense to go get him when they were trying to swing for the fences, right? They needed more than just one player. They needed several guys. That's why a lot of the Hornets talks were like Terry Rozier plus, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, a PJ Washington, something like that. Because the Lakers were trying not to just get one guy. They were trying to get 2, 3, 4 guys. That's why they got D'Lo, Vanderbilt, and Beasley. Now, the Lakers kind of know what they are, and they kind of know what they need. Lakers need several things, right? They could use another perimeter defender. Terry Rozier doesn't really help with that. Now, he can play defense. He is a solid defender at the guard position, but again, he's kind of undersized, and he's not going to be this just elite defensive guy for you. But the Lakers also need three-point shooting. Terry Rozier checks that off. They need another playmaker. Terry Rozier checks that box off, right? So Terry Rozier provides a lot of the things that the Lakers could really use. Another consistent scorer, a guy that could go and give you, 15 to 20 on any given night, a guy that can give you quality minutes, a guy that can play, as a starter or off the bench, either or. And that's what the Lakers are very likely going to need, because here's the thing. One, the Lakers very likely are going to lose Dennis Schroeder. And I hope not. I wouldn't mind them re-signing Dennis Schroeder, but the Lakers don't have a lot of money to play with. They don't have bird rights on Dennis Schroeder. And is he willing to take another vet minimum deal when he could probably get a taxpayer mid-level by some other team. He's still a really good defensive player. He's a guy that can have moments offensively, but he's better as a backup than a starting point guard. So, one, does any team want to give him that starting role? Because I think he would do that. And two, is there any team out there that would give him reasonably more money, right? I don't think he's a 15, 20 million a year guy, but would a team be willing to give him, 10 million a year or 8 million a year? That's probably his market. He's somewhere in the like 5 to 10 million range, where the Lakers just can't afford to do that. So unless he's willing to take a vet minimum deal to stick around and stay with the Lakers for a while, then maybe Terry Rozier could be an option. The Lakers could, take a Malik Beasley and like a Shaquille Harrison and go get a Terry Rozier. And now you got basically a 3-level scorer. Probably doesn't cost you any firsts, if any draft picks at all, because, you are doing Charlotte a huge favor in this deal. It's not like people were running for the door to go and get Terry Rozier. There were a couple teams that were interested, but nobody really wanted to give up assets for Rozier because, again, like, he's overpaid, right? Like, Terry Rozier is realistically like a 15 million a year guy, 15 to 18 million. So he is slightly overpaid, and he has multiple years on his contract. And how many teams are looking at Terry Rozier and going like, oh, that's our missing piece. That's the guy we need that's going to put us over the top. Not very many, if any at all, right? And even the Lakers, he's not going to put them over the top, but it just gives them another level scorer. Gives them another guy that can hit shots and close down stretches and just put the ball in the hoop, which is what you need, and gives another playmaker, right? Especially if the Lakers are going to do something with D'Angelo Russell, right? So you could go get a Terry Rozier, and then maybe you trade D'Lo and Mo Bamba and go get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, right? And now you have Terry Rozier as like, you could have him as your starter or bring him off the bench and have him be that spark plug off the bench, be that sixth man for you. You can maybe run LeBron at that point and have like a starting five of like, I don't know, say you have a starting five of like LeBron, Reeves, Vanderbilt, AD, and Turner, right? Or maybe you go Rui so you have some more scoring. There you go. You got that. And then you could have Terry Rozier as your sixth man alongside a Jared Vanderbilt. Or you could have him alongside a Rui Hachimura if you decide to start Jared Vanderbilt. And here's the thing. He would be the best scorer we would have off the bench. Like, so he's an upgrade over Dennis Schroeder. Like, I like Dennis Schroeder a lot, but Terry Rozier is a better overall player. He's not the defender that Schroeder is, but, if you're talking about the bench unit, you want a guy that can go and put the ball in the hoop. Again, go look for, maybe like you go get a Stanley Johnson or something like that for a vet minimum. So you can have some defensive guys, right? And it just gives you another scorer and playmaker and a guy that has a lot of experience playing off the ball now, right? Because he played alongside LaMelo. So you need a guy that has the ability to play off the ball because you got LeBron James. Yes, Rozier can handle the ball, but you also are going to need him to play off the ball. Not just that, but Austin Reeves, right? He's a guy that can handle the ball at times and play point guard at times. So it'd be nice to have Terry Rozier and his ability to play off the ball alongside an Austin Reeves. So you could go Rozier, Reeves, LeBron, AD, and Rui or something like that if you wanted to. Again, just gives the Lakers another playmaker, another scorer, a little more flexibility. He probably doesn't cost much, if at all, because he's a long-term contract. And if you're the Charlotte Hornets, maybe you get like a second-round pick or something just for the sake of it. And you're getting Shaquille Harrison and Malik Beasley, and you basically get to write off that money. So that way now you can pay Miles Bridges and PJ Washington. Boom, it's a win-win for both sides. Lakers get another playmaker, scorer, somebody that they really need and could really use. Look, if the Lakers had Terry Rozier, who knows what would have happened, right? Again, I don't think Terry Rozier is a guy that just completely changes the entire landscape of the Lakers, but I do believe he's a guy that would have made a significant impact. Like, in the Denver series, the Lakers just needed, like, one other piece, one other guy. Right? Like, you had Rui, you had Reeves, you had LeBron, you had AD. If, like, Schroeder just gave you 15 a game or D'Lo gave you 15 a game, the Lakers probably would have won that series. The first two games alone were separated by like only 11 points or something like that. So when you take that into account, if they would have gotten a guy like a Rozier who could have given you 15 plus and a guy that's put up 50, right? I mean, again, Scary Terry, that he got his nickname because he was just a bucket, right? Like he's a guy, like that's what the Lakers need at times. The Lakers need a guy that can just go be a bucket. And I think Rozier is a guy that could help with that this upcoming season. You probably get him on the cheap via trade. He's a guy that, again, on 8 attempts per game, can knock down 38%. It's pretty good. That's a high volume 3-point shooter that can give you quality production for that, right? And the difference is too is that he does more than just shoot, right? Like that was the problem with Malik Beasley, right? Malik Beasley was high volume, streaky 3-point shooter. Problem is that when his 3-point shot wasn't falling, he kind of became unplayable, right? At least with Terry Rozier, if his 3-point shot isn't falling, he still can do so many other things, right? He can still get to the basket. He can still shoot the mid-range. He can still make and get assists. He's still, again, like I said, a good rebounder for somebody his size. So he's a guy that can crash the boards, get rebounds, that can, play. He plays some defense. He's not he's not a great defender by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of that is just he's undersized, right? So again, it's if you have somebody that I'd rather have somebody that's undersized that tries than somebody that is undersized that doesn't play defense at all. So I think that if you could get a Rozier and get a guy that can at least attempt to play on the defensive side, and then on top of that, a guy that gives you another 3-level scorer to add to your Austin Reeves, your LeBron James, your Anthony Davis, your Rui Hachimura. Like you start looking at it like, man, like they got so many weapons, so many threats. Now you got another 3-point shooter. Like Terry Rozier might end up being everything that we wanted from D'Angelo Russell. Guy that could go give you 15 plus a night, give you, 5 to 7 assists per game, grab some rebounds, hit some shots, play on the ball, play off the ball. Like D'Lo was great at that until we got to this final round. Now D'Lo was solid for the most part. It was just a bad series. I mean, he single-handedly saved the Lakers season in that first round against Memphis. But still, it's just we expected and needed more from him, and it was disappointing, where Terry Rozier may be able to fix that. He may be able to be the difference maker there. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Would you like Terry Rozier? Would you like the Lakers to go maybe make a trade for him? Do you think no? Go look elsewhere. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments section below.